Hello and welcome. It's Kickoff with Jay again. It's doing football analysis the way you love it and as we promised. And as you always know, I don't do this alone. I do it with fantastic guys. But before we move on, please do like and subscribe our videos. It's a channel for the best footballing content you can ever get in Nigeria. And welcome Mohammed as always to the show. And it's time to talk about the FA Cup games that went down. One of the most traditional competitions right there in English football.
Well, another day for Chelsea to cry, and what else could we say? Manchester United are pulling all the wins in the world, and happy moments, I would say.
Yes, happy moments. And Manchester United, Man City have all gotten big wins that takes them right to the next round. And we have one team crying out for survival right there, and it's Chelsea at up front. So let's quickly move on. I'm talking about the FA Cup game. We saw the first game right there. Manchester United playing Everton, and Manchester United went full force against Frank Lampard's men. How do you think the game ended 3-1? What did you feel about the game, man?
Well, it was not the best of performance for Manchester United, but a team does not always play well every time.
Yeah.
What matters is grinding the results. And when you have Marcus Rashford, I think you can win any game in football.
Yes. Manchester United seems to be on a very good tide right now, and they are pulling those goals out of every cylinder. And Rashford is one of the man right there, and one of the big names right there for them, stepping up this season and firing from all cylinders. Manchester United have actually qualified for the next round. Another game that I find very controversial was the Liverpool-Wolverhampton game, and it was a game that ended 2-2 with maybe Wolves should have nicked it at the dying minute, but we saw again the English officials or the officiating go wrong, as we always do.
And
right
funny
there.
enough, I find the excuse very silly, because they said there was no angle from the camera to detect whether Matis Nunes was offside. So I think these silly mistakes should be avoided in the oldest football tournament. In those mistakes cost a team like Wolves, and if Liverpool go ahead to win at the Molineux, I think Wolves will feel heartbroken by that decision.
Yes, they'll surely feel heartbroken. It does not clarify the fact. That's why most fans will always call Liverpool the Liverpool club. I will see how that turns out, but the officiating was so bad. For a technology like that, why can't you get an angle to justify your decision? So we quickly move on to the next game, which is Manchester City Liverpool. Manchester City Chelsea. And Chelsea, after a great game against Manchester City right at Stamford Bridge, in which though they lost but played very well. We were expecting maybe a more competitive game right there, but only to fall to a 4-0 brutal loss right there at the hands of Manchester City.
Well,
Manchester City.
Sorry to correct you. I think Chelsea did not play too well at Stamford Bridge. I think Man City were subpar in that game. Man City were nowhere good to their best. I think that's why it looked like Chelsea played very well. But of course, what do you expect? I think Chelsea are going down at the moment. But the fan base have to do one thing. They have to back the manager. So we have to see about that. For very poor performance from Chelsea. Potter does not seem to know what he's doing at the moment. The injuries have not helped it, sure. But I think even with those injured players fit, I think Chelsea are on a downward slope.
I was going to talk about the injuries. Having like 10 first teamers not right there, they were not able to play due to the fact.
Sorry to cut you. Last season, Chelsea had so many injured players, and they were still a top team. So I think we should not give the injuries as an excuse. But at the moment, it's up to Potter to find what is going wrong in the club, because the noise from the fans will always be bigger than the noise inside the club.
Yes, the pressure is mounting. The media and the fans, as you said, are all like putting Graham Potter to the toes and waiting for amazing results. We know how this Chelsea culture has been. They're always demanding for results in whatever circumstance, even though you have more than 11 players injured, you should be able to put up a fight, be competitive, and also get results. And that's one thing that have been coming out right there at Stamford Bridge. I would love to ask you this question. A lot of people have been thinking Graham Potter should be shown the exit door. Do you think this validates that claim? Let me give you some stats. I think Chelsea have only won one game in their last 9. I think drawn maybe like 2 in those games, and have lost those games. They sit 10th on the table, and they were nowhere competitive, or were not able to match Manchester City intensity at any level in the FA Cup game, do you think Graham Potter should still be given more time?
It depends on how Chelsea see it, because even Arteta and Arsenal went through this period, and now we see how good they are. So it depends on how Chelsea see it. You either back the manager or you let him go. But if you are going to sack Graham Potter now, I think it's going to get a big, huge payoff. But it's not necessary. You need to back him, back Graham Potter. And as rival fans, we always want to see you back your manager.
So that we'll lose more games. Okay, but let's take a critical look at it. You cannot give a manager 6 years contract and expect him to work magic in less than 4 months. It shows that you are able to trust him for a long period of time.
And apart from giving the manager a 6 years contract, the players that Chelsea have signed have been young players, and the likes of Broja, Badiashile, Datro Fofana, all getting long-term contracts. So I think Chelsea needs to wake up. This is not Abramovich era. This is the Todd Boehly era. It is no more short-term. It is long-term success. And I think that is the important change that is happening in the football club.
And we have seen it, different models right there, from Liverpool to Manchester City to what Manchester United are doing right now. The short-term fixes are working again. And you need managers to get their players, put them together, get their structures well, and over a long period of time, drill these players to they get it working. So I think it's really a nice thing. Me too, I won't be supporting a Graham Potter sacking, but I still question some.
You back your manager?
Yes, I'm backing him, but I still like have some reservations about the board and why they backed Tuchel so much and they let him go. And maybe some of the decisions they've made have been quite harsh and have not come well. Look at they've served most of the medical teams, and now we're having most of our players down to injuries. But we'll see how that one pans out for Chelsea. We'll see if they survive this season or they get relegated. Who knows? But Graham Potter seems to be on the wheel and is not leaving anytime soon, as I see it, Mohammed.
Yes. So the big question again is Graham Potter ready for the Chelsea job? Does he have what it takes to swerve under the immense pressure that he's facing? We'll be able to see. We'll come back, and of course we'll be able to answer this question in the next 1 or 2 months.
Yes, obviously we will be able to, and that's the wrap on all we'll be doing today. It's always lovely to have you here, Mohammed. You talk about the Chelsea and how very soon they are beginning to fall, and we'll see how it pans out in the next 1 to 3 months, and how they make use of the January transfer window to maybe get some little bit of fix and get their season going. And it's really lovely to do this every time and every day, and the FA Cup games were amazing, and they promised goals, and there were a lot of goals. Controversies were not far from it again, as you always know in English football. And we'll be here to talk about the upcoming Premier League games again. Until then, goodbye. Thank you for watching, and please do subscribe and like our videos.